I think the sponsors worked the bill pretty hard. I think the chair, Chapelvia, has done an excellent job in committee. But I don't know if 3 days is enough to jam through a bill that's this important. What's more upsetting to me about this whole process is I did a point of personal privilege 2 weeks ago about a small company in my district that's been owed $1 million because they did work for the DNR that's passed through money from the feds, and his business is crippled. Yet we can have a large company come in here when we don't have a budget, when we haven't been working on pension reform, when social services aren't being paid, and all the energy, pun intended, is sucked out of the room for this bill that does not need to be done right now. I'm going to walk through what happens with the Clinton plant. The Clinton plant files intent to close. They can't just close it. The grid operator has to determine whether they can afford that plant to close or not. The grid operator, if the grid operator determines they need that plant open, the whole grid pays for it, not the state of Illinois. So what we're doing right now is we're bailing out a company where the state of Illinois is standing on line. I don't even know how you call it a bailout. It's not a bailout. They're a profitable company. We're asking the taxpayers, the rate users of the state of Illinois, to jump in line in front of the whole grid. You know how big that grid is? It goes from Texas and Louisiana up to Manitoba. So we're going to subsidize the company so that they could sell their power out of state, so that out-of-state users can enjoy lower rates on their electricity. And that's important. That's supposed to be more important than social services, than higher education, than the budget and everything else. More important than Blocker Construction, who's been waiting over a year, who's crippled, whose family is crippled. They're not a big profitable company. It's pass-through money. We can't even get that simple pass-through bill done so that they can get paid, and they're incurring interest on that, and they don't get, when their money comes, they're not eligible for the bonus money we have. So, I mean, I look at this, like we had a note come back on corrections that says there's no fiscal impact to corrections. I didn't know the Department of Corrections doesn't use electricity. The cost of electricity affects everybody. There's a $1 billion plant that was announced in January to create 1,100 megawatts in the district next to mine. That plant might be in jeopardy. That's a lot of jobs there. I know there's jobs in Clinton. I know there's jobs in the Quad Cities. Those are important. So are the other 40-plus thousand jobs that may be lost because of this bill passing. We have to do things like this more slowly. So it's going strongly against, what my gut is telling me to do. I'm frankly disappointed in myself right now because I should be doing every last thing to stop this kind of garbage from happening in this chamber, jamming a bill like this in 3 days. How many amendments do we have today? 6, 7, 8? I don't know. So I am withdrawing, but I am requesting that everybody think about what they're doing right now before they make the vote on this bill. Think hard about what we did in 3 days, and think hard about what we didn't do the last 3 days. And vote your conscience. Thank you.